DIY Camo Netting 2. I wanted to remake this because I wanted to do something different with the way the frame is put together. So this is a new version of that. And while you're at it, make sure you click that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell. Tools you'll need for this project. You'll need a glue gun, cutters to cut wood, hole punch, permanent markers, scissors, pencil, and a ruler. Supplies you'll need for this project. You'll need some elastic cord or string, and you'll need a thicker string. You're going to need something like cardstock, paperboard, or something similar. You'll need jumbo bamboo skewers, paper straws, scrap fabric, and netting material. Cut your fabric into strips. Probably the thinner the better. It doesn't have to be pretty. The more jagged the edge, the better it looks. Once you complete that, you could start weaving your fabric strips through the holes in the netting. There's no certain way to do this. The random, the better. Just go in and out a few times. You can mix it up, going sideways, over, like this. Longer pieces, shorter pieces, whatever you think looks best. It's entirely up to you. I went a few different ways with the fabric strips. I think I like it. It turned out really nice. Now mark your paper straw at 1 inch. You want 4 of these. Then on another paper straw, you're going to mark 2 inches. And I like to mark the inch or where it's going to be divided, because this will be the coupler that hold 2 pieces together. And then start cutting your straws. You could use scissors or X-Acto knife, whichever way you feel is the best way. Now gather up 4 pieces of your straw. The first piece, you're going to hole punch half of it. Here's an extreme close-up. Now you'll do this to 2, so it'll look like this. Another extreme close-up, get a better view. Now with the third, we're going to hole punch both ends. There's the last extreme close-up. Once you have done that, take your first piece that you've cut one side on, and just trim off one of these edges. You'll see why in a minute. Take the last piece that you did not hole punch, and apply hot glue to the one that you hole punched, and stick it on the side. So this is going to kind of make it a little L shape. Hold it there long enough for the glue to dry. And you can set this down for a little bit to let it cool. Now with your last one that has one hole punch end, trim off the little tab, and glue this to the side that is, or glue this piece sitting straight up. This will explain it better than I can. And there you have it. Allow this to cool for a little bit. I found it better if you color the pieces before you start gluing them together, or paint them, depending on what you want to do. I think it looks better, but that's up to you. We'll continue on. Now we'll take that piece that you hole punched both ends, and we're going to glue this between the 2 bits like this. So this will be kind of a brace piece. It's going to hold those little legs together well. Now with that paper board, use a hole punch and punch out a hole. If you're not careful, this will fly across the room. Now apply glue to the end like this and push it down. I found that the best way to get it lined up, and it looks better. And there you go. We've completed this piece. Now with your bamboo skewer, you're going to measure out 6 inches. So a 12-inch bamboo skewer, so cutting it in half will give us 2 6-inch pieces. Use an X-Acto knife or a wire cutter or this type of tool. Now that you have 2 pieces, you could color them or paint them, whatever you choose to do. The end with both flat ends will be the piece that goes into the coupler or the joint. And this pointy end is going to be the back end of the frame of the tent. You could color these with permanent marker, paint, spray paint, whatever you feel is the best. I just use permanent marker. Now that you have all pieces colored, painted, you can start assembly. I like to mark the 1-inch mark on the piece with the pointed end and the single coupler, the 2-inch piece of straw. Apply glue and push it into that 1-inch mark. This will be permanent, leaving the other side that will be able to pull out and break down the tent. Now at this end, we're going to apply glue to any one of these flat ends, and we'll push it into the top portion of the tent, the portion that has the hole punch, and there you have it. This is the top portion of the tent. Now we'll take the last 2 bamboo skewers, and we're going to measure these to 8 inches. We'll cut these down to 8 inches. Then we'll cut the 8-inch piece down to 4 inches. So we'll have 2 4-inch pieces. I like to use the pointy end as the leg pieces to the tent. That way you could secure them into the ground. And cut this with an X-Acto knife or wire cutter or cutting tool. Now that you have your pieces cut down to size, you could either paint them now or wait till after you assemble to paint them, whatever you feel is the best. We're going to mark the 1-inch mark on the end with the pointed end. And just like the other thing that we did, we'll apply glue and secure the 2-inch paper straw to that 1-inch mark. We'll do this to both ends with the pointed end to form the legs. You got to work fast with this hot glue, it dries really fast. Then this will form the legs. You assemble it like this. Now completed, it looks like this. It's just the same as our last camo tent frame, but with a new coupler design. And this also has a little carry bag. Originally wanted to do a backpack, but I think the shoulder sling looks better. So we'll get started on that. To begin the assembly for the carry bag, we'll cut 3 different stalls into 3-inch pieces, so you end up with 6 pieces. This will be the parts. This will be where the parts of the tent line up, and you can start coloring these or painting them. I find it easier to paint them first before start gluing them together. Now you could line up 3 straws. I use an extra piece of straw to help line them up, and then glue these together. We're going to create 2 of these packs of straws that are glued together 3x3. This is the second piece. And allow these to dry. Now we will glue these two together. I like to use the end that we applied glue on to hold the straws together. That way the outside looks pretty clean. And just put them together and hold them still. And allow the hot glue to cool. If the straws don't line up correctly, you could cut them down. That's the wonderful thing about paper straws, is they're so forgiving. And just cut them down to where they all line up and look pretty. Now we'll begin assembly to the shoulder strap. Using your action figure, you want this to hang a little bit lower than his waist, maybe something that'll allow it to go over his shoulder and his head and not be too tight. Now we'll take this shoulder strap and we're going to glue it to the top portion of the straws. However you want to assemble this is up to you, if you wanted to have it flat or whatever. Just line it up and push it into the hot glue. Allow it to dry. Then you could tie a knot on the shoulder. And just a simple knot will do. You could also hot glue this if you want to make it more secure. And there we go. Now we'll work on the straps, the elastic bands that will hold the camo tint underneath the bag. So apply glue, and you could use a bamboo skewer or pencil to push it down into place and hold it there. You'll want to do 2 or 3 to help secure the camo net. Glue it in one place, then turn the pack over and glue it again. I'm using a bamboo skewer to hold it in place until the glue cools a little bit and the elastic band sticks. Now that we have the shoulder bag complete, we can start putting the frame into it. I like to put the top portions up here. Then the top portions of the legs will go under that. Then the bottom portion of the legs will go under that. But however you want to do this is entirely up to you, of course. This will hold the entire frame. You could take your camouflage netting and fold it over a few times and roll it up. You want it to be about the size of your shoulder bag. Then you could just loop it around these loops. I think two loops are probably better than these 3 ones. I had a hard time getting it through the middle loop, so I just used 2 of the loops. And now that I think of it, you could also put your sniper's rifle on the same thing if you want to. It's always an option. And to use this, you could dig a little hole in the ground and position the frame over it with your action figure laying inside the hole. And then you could cover the frame and camouflage netting with extra pieces of grass or foliage. This is a cleaner look than the last camouflage tent frame that we made. And I like that it has a shoulder bag so your character can carry it. You can see how the metal brace helps stabilize this type of frame. This frame could be used as other things. If you made the sticks longer. This is another idea I had with these paper straws and skewers. I designed this little foot to go on it. This is a T-joint. And here is a four-way joint. The stick actually slides through. And this is an elbow joint. We'll be using these in future videos. I hope you stay tuned. If you like what you see, please click that like button. And don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. Click that notification bell so you don't miss out. And don't forget to collect, inspire, and create. See you in the next one.